Good morning, and welcome back to Daily Dhamma, a letter to our children. Today is August 12th, and our reading is Amen. As teachers, it's not immediately apparent there's any advantage to inserting our mother of perpetual grievance into the curriculum as the replacement for our mother of perpetual guilt. Dogma is dogma is dogma. What Thomas Sowell and C.S. Lewis had to say about education is true. Changing things to the new dogma and changing things to the new postmodern view of the world is not necessarily an improvement over the old method. There were, are, and ever shall be problems in schools and in education and with teachers. And because we're dealing with people, this is to be expected. There's no way around that. What we're talking about is the systematic debunking, quote unquote, of old dogmas and the insertion of new dogmas. Whipping kids, students, other teachers into a frenzy about imagined failings of the current society is bad enough. The one that really stumps us is, unless you've got a time machine, how are you going to go back and right all of the wrongs that have ever been done? Everything that for the last 6,000 years has not gone along with your enlightened views of how things ought to be. Don't you see that's a losing hand? Don't you see that everybody's going to have a different idea of what that is? Hasn't it occurred to folks that rewriting history is a bad way to go about teaching kids about their society? It is. So anyway, let's knock that off. If brainwashing kids to go along with religious dogma of which the teachers did not approve was so onerous, how is it an advancement to brainwash kids about being in a state of perpetual grievance about our current life today? That just doesn't seem to make any sense to us. Sorry. It's all the rage in education schools today to throw ourselves into the pedagogy of the oppressed, but I'd like to say, don't touch that dial, not so fast. Here's something from C.S. Lewis. A dogmatic belief in objective value is necessary to the very idea of a rule which is not tyranny, or an obedience which is not slavery. I am not here thinking solely, perhaps not even chiefly, of those who are our public enemies at the moment. He went on in The Abolition of Man to discuss the then current public enemies. But the more things change, the more they stay the same. We've got the same cast of characters running around stirring up trouble. Since mankind came out of the savannas or out of the caves or wherever they came out of and started organizing itself in groups larger than a band of 20, we've had a problem with who's going to be in charge. And sometimes that works out pretty good, often, surprisingly often. A lot of times it doesn't, and we need to take those times as cautions. We repeat, it's wise for us to keep our hands to ourselves, mind our own business, and try not to be jerks. Telling other people what to do is not a good thing. So happy trails to you until we meet again.